Never felt like this before I chanted. How did I exist before I chanted? Now you're on my mind. You're there all the time. I can't forget that you're inside my heart. Inside my heart. Oh my Lord, I really must surrender. Oh my Lord, I simply must surrender. Oh my Lord, I truly must surrender to you, to you. Things have really changed since I've been chanting. My life is not the same since I've been chanting. You've got a way about you. Now I can't live without you. I won't forget that you're inside my heart. Inside my heart. Oh my Lord, I really must surrender. Oh my Lord, I truly must surrender. Oh my Lord, I simply must surrender to you, to you. So let me go on chanting for a million years. I won't forget that you're inside my heart. Inside my heart. Oh my Lord, I really must surrender. Oh my Lord, I simply must surrender. Oh my Lord, I truly must surrender to you, to you. You are so kind, so kind. You encourage me, you enthuse me, you enliven me. That's why I'm coming back in August. Thank you. Thank you very much. On the final program on Sunday, my final song, I may wind up crying. So if I cry, pay no attention. But I'm saving my best song for Sunday, the final song. Okay. So, let's now, my last little sermon. So, in 1966, in December, Srila Prabhupada was requested to record a record. And the man who recorded that I once met. It was 1978-79. And the temple had sent me downtown to get something, some kind of cloth or something. And I was waiting, I guess, for a bus, or all of a sudden this limousine stopped because I was dressed like this. And the man said, "Come in the car." And I don't know, I just said, okay. I don't know, that's not a bright, but he looked, it was a nice car and looked like a nice man. He goes, "I am Alan Coleman. Do you know who I am?" I said, "Yes, I know who you are. You're the one who recorded Prabhupada's first record." So I was very happy, and he drove me right to the temple. So, when Prabhupada recorded his first record, that's where the song, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, right? You've all heard that. Yes, with a bongo drum, exactly. Hare Rama, and the devotees sound like this. Hare Krishna, don't they sound like that? Is that how they sound? Prabhupada sounds like, full, but the devotees sound, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. But that recording has so much Shakti. I listen to it every day. It's still, it's still great because it's got that Shakti. That's transcendental sound vibration. So on that record, Prabhupada spoke his explanation of the Maha Mantra. And so I'd like to go over that. There are certain things that every year I lecture on. So this year, your house, Ranjit, you get the Hare Krishna mantra address. And the other one is also, I do it once a year. So, because every year these things I have to constantly go deeper and deeper because I love them. So this is exactly how it sounds on the record album. As explained on the cover of the record album, this transcendental vibration by chanting of, come on,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you, is the sublime method for reviving our Krishna consciousness. That word reviving, at the beginning, before most of you came, she was here and just a cup. Some Mohini was here. Originally, we were with God, but we fell down to Santiago. So reviving means something was already there. It died, but you got revived. So Krishna consciousness is your original normal consciousness. And this Hare Krishna mantra revives that. And then Prabhupada explains, as living spiritual soul, we are all originally Krishna conscious entities. But due to our association with matter, from time immemorial, meaning you can't trace out when you fell. Can't. It's impossible. All you know is you have fallen into the material world. From time immemorial means it's so long ago, no way you can figure it out. Our consciousness is now polluted by material atmosphere. And in Santiago, I think your city is third or fourth for air pollution in the world, right? Los Angeles is close behind, don't worry. So that's just the air. But when he says atmosphere, he means everything. Television, radio, newspaper, politics, school. Be careful of Maya in the school. Yes, be careful. Because Maya is there. By this material atmosphere. I'm not scaring him, man.
We know he wants to come again.
Okay. In this polluted concept of life, we are all trying to exploit the resources of material nature. But actually, we are becoming more and more entangled in her complexity. So this is the illusion. Everybody here in this material world is trying to dominate the material world, but what's happening? Instead, entangled. Just the opposite. You think, I will control it, I will dominate it, but actually, she dominates you. The classic example is the drug addict. The drug addict, or the, what is that word? The alcoholic, thinks that by drinking alcohol or taking drugs, now I am the enjoyer. But what happens? You become addicted. You start to lose your health. And she conquers you, the material energy. That's what happens. This illusion is called Maya, or hard struggle for existence, for winning over the stringent laws of material nature. Now, those of you who know Bhagavad Gita, Krishna makes it very clear. He says in chapter 7, verse 14, a verse everyone should know like they know their phone number on their cell phone. The verse is, Daivi Yesha Gunamayi, Momamaya Duratyaya, Mam Evaye Prapadyante, Mayam Etam Turantite. See, I don't tell you to do something unless I myself know it. So since I memorized it, you all should memorize it. Bhagavad Gita 7:14. Setenta, how do you say punto? So, siete, not setenta. 7.14. See? Gracias. Krishna says, this material energy of mine is insurmountable, unconquerable. The only way to conquer, Krishna says, surrender to me. The song I sang, I want to surrender to Krishna. So the song fits perfectly here. So, Prabhupada says, this illusory struggle against the material nature can at once be stopped. But again, he uses the word revival. That's twice now. Because that is your original consciousness. You were already in the kingdom of God. That's where you come from. But you've lost it. Now we need the visa to go back to Godhead. And that visa to go back to Godhead, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare. This is your visa. Krishna consciousness is not an artificial imposition on the mind. In other words, it's not something foreign. It is the original energy of living entity. When we hear the transcendental vibration, this consciousness is revived. Third time. So there's no doubt about this. Revived. Sometimes a person is in the hospital. He's had a massive heart attack. So they have those things. Clear! 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 Oh, and he comes back, right? You've seen so many TV. I know you watch TV, so don't tell me you don't. You've seen it all, right? But after 4 or 5 times, if the guy's dead, they say, he's dead. But sometimes they go, boom, right? Or somebody drowns, so they do that mouth to mouth, and the water comes out and he's revived. So Krishna consciousness is your original consciousness. And the process is recommended by authorities for this age. By practical experience also, we can perceive that by chanting this Maha Mantra, or great chanting for deliverance, one can at once feel transcendental ecstasy from the spiritual stratum. So when we were chanting tonight, did you enjoy? How about the children? Did you enjoy? Was good? Maybe? What's he saying? He's shy? Did you enjoy? Good boy. Very good. I enjoyed. I know Rakesh enjoyed. With it, you too? Good. Haribol. You would definitely enjoyed. When one is factually on the plane of spiritual understanding, surpassing the stages of sense, mind, and intelligence. So those are the 3 material stages. The sensual stage, everybody knows that. But then there's a higher stage, a mental state. And then there's a stage of living on intelligence. But those are all material. This is in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, this is explained. If you study the end of 3rd chapter of Gita, that the senses are superior to the sense objects. Higher than the senses are the mind. Higher than the mind is the intelligence. And higher than the intelligence is soul. Higher than soul, super soul. Higher than super soul, Krishna. Because super soul is expansion of Krishna. So higher than Krishna? Right. Now, somebody might say, Radharani. All right. You'll get that. But then I would counter, no, Radha and Krishna are one. No, but Radha, no, stop. Your answer was correct. Krishna. Very good. You get an A in your exam today. So I want you to be the first one to come up for blessings. Can you do that? Good boy. This chanting of
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
That's how it's on the record. It's not that Prabhupada says Hare Krishna. He gives the full mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Is directly enacted from the spiritual platform. In other words, this is not a material sound vibration. In the 60s, when this movement was started, they would say in New York, oh, it's the same as chanting Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, Cola-Cola, Coca-Cola. They used to actually think like that. Oh, you guys are just trying to hypnotize yourself. So we would say, okay, you chant Coca-Cola, see what happens. We'll chant Hare Krishna. No. If you chant Coca-Cola, what happens? You simply get more thirsty. And you can't chant Coca-Cola for an hour. Nobody in their right mind is going to sit there. No one's going to do this. Coca-Cola, 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 Coca-Cola. No. But these hippies and those who first joined, they gladly took to this chanting of Hare Krishna. I'm one of them. If somebody told me chant Coca-Cola, I'd say, you're crazy, man. But Hare Krishna, yes, it's transcendental sound vibration. There is no need of understanding the language of the mantra. In other words, we get this all the time. I've gotten it. Oh, first you should study Sanskrit. No, I don't need to know Sanskrit. I just have to read Prabhupada's books, chant Hare Krishna, and preach. Actually, one of Prabhupada's disciples wrote to Prabhupada and said, I want to study Sanskrit. Prabhupada said, no. You will learn Sanskrit just by studying my books. I know enough Sanskrit, right? I quote verses, I know it. It's enough. I don't have to spend 12 years learning Sanskrit grammar. It's not necessary. Everything is there in the synonyms, like we have the class in the morning. We go over each word, or the class at night. Prabhupada explains each word. Karma, yoga, this, every word's explained. By attending class, you'll learn many things. Nor is there any need of mental speculation, nor any intellectual adjustment for chanting this mantra. It springs automatically from the spiritual platform. And as such, anyone can take part without any previous qualification and dance in ecstasy. So, does it matter? Oh, you just came? Oh, okay. Earlier we were talking about 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita.
My favorite.
Yeah, that's what I told them. That's what I told them. Because I was asking the question, where does transcendental knowledge begin? Chapter 2. That's where it begins. Nice for you to join. Thank you. So anyone can take. You don't need a degree. There's no qualifications. Anyone. We have seen it practically. Even a child can take part in the chanting. Even a dog can take part. Sometimes it's experience. The devotees are chanting on the street and the dogs come. They're attracted to the chanting. There's even an incident with Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya was sitting and there was a dog there. And Lord Chaitanya was feeding him green coconut and telling the dog, chant. And the dog was chanting Hare Krishna in dog language. And all the devotees paid their obeisances to the dog. Because he was sitting right next to Lord Chaitanya. And the next day the dog went back to Godhead. Not doghead. He went to Godhead. So even a dog can take part. They wag their tail. When the dog wags its tail, it's happy, right? So sometimes a dog will be with the devotees chanting and wagging his tail and jumping and Haribol, Haribol. The chanting should be heard, however, from the lips of a pure devotee of the Lord, so that immediate effect can be achieved. Now the question is, what is the immediate effect? The immediate effect is love of God, because that is the fruit of chanting, not liberation. The actual fruit of chanting is love of God. Moksha is insignificant. That you get, don't worry. But the real fruit of chanting is love of God, ecstasy. Krishna, love. So you want to hear from a pure devotee. If you listen to a professional singer, he may not have very much love of God. I know so many of these singers, but they're not pure. They're smoking and drinking. They sing very nice, but they're not pure. That chanting is not pure. Me, I listen to Prabhupada. Pure chanting. She knows what's playing all day in my room. Prabhupada is the whole time. And while I'm sleeping, what's playing? Even when I'm sleeping. Because I want to get immediate effects. I want that sound vibration of Prabhupada to go in here and give me bhakti shakti. That's what I want. How am I doing tonight? Do I have a little bhakti shakti tonight? Haribol. Chanting from the lips of non-devotee should be avoided, as milk touched by the lips of a serpent causes poisonous effect. So be careful who you hear from. Be careful. You should hear from pure devotees. The word hara, everybody say. Hara. Hara, say it. Hara. is the form of addressing the energy of the Lord. So, who is Hara? Radharani. So who is it? Srimati Radharani. Everybody say Hara. The energy of the Lord. And both Krishna and Rama are form of addressing directly the Lord. So everybody say Krishna. Rama. Now the other day I told you how many names of Vishnu equal Ram. How many? Who remembers?
1,000.
That's 1,000. Good. And how many Ramas equal a Krishna? 3. You're listening. Thank you. For some people, I've been saying this for 20 years, they still don't know it. Thank you. And they mean the highest pleasure eternal. So Krishna and Ram, highest pleasure eternal. Hara, everybody say, is the supreme pleasure potency of the Lord. This potency, when addressed as Hare, helps us in reaching the Supreme Lord. So we say Sitaram. Sita is also Hare, right? We say Lakshmi Narayan. Radha Krishna. First we address the supreme energy, feminine, then we approach God, the masculine. And when I explain this in the high schools and colleges, you know what I tell them? So when I go to the high schools and colleges, we have the Hare Krishna mantra on the board. And I'm always asked to do the kirtan to get the students into it. So I always tell them, you see this mantra? How many Krishnas do you have? 4. How many Ramas? 4. How many Hares? 8. I said this mantra is politically correct. There are 8 masculine names of God and 8 feminine names of God. And then all the feminists, yeah, we like this guy. He's good. You have to know how to preach, especially in America. You have to know. Yes, they like that. Then you have them, and then we get them to chant. And then I go up and down the aisles, and I tell the students, come out of your chairs. And then we teach them how to dance. And the teacher encourages them. And I show them what the step is. And then we get them to chant. I tell them, this is spiritual aerobics. Like that. Hara is the supreme pleasure potency of the Lord. This potency, when addressed as Hare, helps us in reaching the Supreme Lord. The material energy, called as Maya, is also one of the multi-potencies of the Lord, as much as we are also marginal potency of the Lord. We are also an energy of God. We are part of Him. We are a potency. The living entities are described as superior energy than matter, which was the first lesson of chapter 2, where Krishna tells Arjuna, you are not your body, Arjuna. You are spirit soul. See? She confirms. Very good. Now this next part is very, very interesting. When the superior energy, meaning us, is in contact with the inferior energy, it becomes an incompatible situation. That's why we're not happy. We're eternal superior energy trying to exist in this material energy, incompatible. That's why you should go back home, back to Godhead. There, it will be very compatible. As long as you live in the material world, there's always going to be something. Something to make your life incompatible. like yesterday. I was so sick yesterday, it was totally incompatible. My stomach and my bowels. So when I read this today, I go, yes, I forgot. This material world is incompatible. When the supreme marginal potency, that's us, is in contact with the spiritual potency, Hara, thank you, it becomes the happy, normal condition of living entity. That's why Lord Chaitanya says, Kirtaniya Sada. Yes, always chant, because Lord Chaitanya knows. You want to be happy, normal, then you have to be always in contact with the spiritual potency. Which is why I am playing the Prabhupada tape all day. The 3 words. So what are the 3 words? Very good. Are transcendental seeds of the Mahamantra. And the chanting is a spiritual call for the Lord and his internal energy, Hara, for giving protection to the conditioned soul. Protection. Isn't that a nice word? Protection. Just like you give protection to your son. On his own, he wouldn't survive. But you, out of love, protect him. So appreciate your mom. She's protecting you. Appreciate your mommy and dad. They're protecting you. Okay? Just as Hara is protecting us. The chanting is exactly like the genuine cry by the child for mother. Mother Hara helps in achieving the grace of the Supreme Father, Hari, or Krishna. And the Lord reveals himself to such a sincere devotee. So just by chanting, Krishna is going to reveal himself to you. So that should give you impetus, because you don't know, one more Hare Krishna, Krishna will reveal himself. I'm waiting for that day. That's why I'm chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Because you don't know. It could be on the airplane. It could be when you're walking down the street. It could be in the temple. You don't know. It could be on Sankirtan. Krishna is going to reveal himself. And you have to be a sincere devotee. No other means, therefore, of spiritual realization is as effective in this age as chanting the Maha Mantra,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.